Welcome back to Twist of Fate, a small business podcast where you can find your inspiration to make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. Today's episode is special. We're here in the sunny capital city of Sacramento, and we're going to talk about a very special topic dedicated to our chefs out there. Now, I get it. Some of my listeners may say, Chef Doug, I'm on rice and beans right now. I can't afford that. Wrong. We have a very special friend here today that is making access to good, healthy cuisine prepared by a chef brought straight to your door. Today's guest, Reneta Jenik, is the founder and CEO of Foodom. Kind of like Uber and Airbnb for commercial cooking. It's amazing to meet you in Twist of Fate, Reneta. Welcome to Twist of Fate.
Thank you very much for having me here. I'm very excited.
Now, Reneta, you are a success in so many different ways and an inspiration to many. You are a successful, first of all, woman in business, immigrant, entrepreneur, corporate soldier, executive. Balancing all of those different expectations is a challenge for all of us. But I'm just curious if you could share with my guests how you tackle and balance and prioritize.
The first thing is I start by doing the important things that I need for tomorrow and the day after that are really critical. Not necessarily I like doing them, but I need to, and I start with those, eat the big frogs first. And there are a lot of things, big things coming at me. And what I learned, there are a few things that I'm doing. First of all, I do. Many people freeze, or overthink or overanalyze. And one of the things that I decided a long time ago that I'm going to try, I'm going to test. It doesn't work, I'll try something else. Because, doing the same things over and over again and expecting the same outcome is the definition of insanity. So that's another thing
Yes.
that I learned. And I tell my team, it's okay, try. If we're wrong, we're doing things that no one did before. It's okay if we fail. Just learn from this and don't repeat on the same thing again. And let's keep on trying until we hit the fast-moving water where it's going to come at us, different problem. So those are the two, I would say, main things. Another thing that I'm doing, I always look up at the best people, companies, or solutions out there. If I face something, I will go to I'll check in Harvard University. There's so much content available now. What do they do? How does Warren Buffett approach a certain thing? How do Brian Chesky and Joe Gabea solve some issues in Airbnb? And I actually reached out to number 2, Brian Chesky's number 2, and he became a friend, and he helped me, and I got a lot of insights about early days in Airbnb. And I'm not shy, so I learned that sometimes just going to the best people out there, most of the time you will get an answer. But by not doing it, you for sure will not get an answer. So better to just reach out, and they might get back to you. The best founders and people in the world are out there and helping each other.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about Foodom. And what you're uniquely filling now is a chef's need to have a good living, to make a wage, with a family's need to be family and focus a little bit less on a lot of the day-to-day grind of healthy eating, right?
Yeah. So what we're basically creating, we're enabling busy families have a chef come and cook at their own home, a professional chef, and prepare food for the whole week, fill their refrigerator with food that is based on their dietary needs, and all of this starting from $5 per portion. And the reason I'm so passionate about this is because of my own personal experience. About 7 years ago, I lost 80 pounds. And
oh, wow. Good for you.
Thank you. It was a journey.
What was the secret?
The secret. So I always thought that workouts are the thing. I did even triathlons, and I'm like, I'm going to lose weight from working out. And, triathlons, running, swimming, biking, what can be more than that? It didn't help. So in weight loss, the major thing, 85% of weight loss is food.
Mm-hmm. Something I personally am experiencing. Look, you guys don't know, I'm intermittent fasting like crazy to get in these suits, right? So
you look great. You're doing amazing. It's a personal, choice, and of course, health reason. As we, grow with the years. I want to be healthy and be there for my family and for myself too, and be able to run until the day my eyes close and never open up again. So I wanted to be better, and I found a company that I hired them as nutrition coaches. Stronger You. Until today, their CEO sold the company a year ago and actually invested in Foodom. He was our first investor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we worked together for a long time, and he's like one of the bigger investors in Foodom. And with his help, I learned in a simple way how I can just cut a fat suit out of me and step out, and it was incredible. And it was hard to keep it off. It was a lot of effort just preparing the meals and the food. The whole secret is planning ahead, so you won't get into situations where you're stuck with your back against the wall and like, what do I do? What do I eat last minute?
Sure.
And being a working, busy family, my husband and myself, we work, have kids, running them around to different activities after school. Many times we found ourselves with no time. We would buy groceries, hundreds of dollars a week, no time to cook, go eat out, hundreds of dollars a week, and then throw away, which kills me because I am a second-generation Holocaust survivor. So for me, throwing away food is really, really hard, and it transformed into an environmental passion of just reducing the food waste. It's very inefficient. So I was looking for a solution to help us, and I found a chef after a very long time, someone that came to our home and prepared meals for us for $100 a week. Just for the preparation, and
this is a local chef. Like
local
somebody
chef,
in there.
yeah, in my area. She blew my mind. I couldn't believe that you can actually have a chef for $100 cook for you, grocery shopping, cook, fill the refrigerator. I had to pinch myself. Clean up. I had to pinch myself. Like when I come home, this smells good, and clean kitchen and full refrigerator with exactly the food I need. It was amazing. Now, the other thing is that my family, we have a gluten-free, one kid is gluten-free, another one is dairy-free, another one doesn't eat eggs because they have some intolerance for eggs, another one is vegetarian, I'm on the low-fat, low-carb diet, and my husband is a foodie, and he likes all the fat in the world. It's like a Sudoku to try to figure out what to eat.
And that's taxing on anybody, like your husband or yourself, if you're preparing for the
family. So much stress.
Yeah.
All the time, stress and arguments and what's for dinner and not again and let's go here and no, let's go there. It was just madness. So when I realized that there is actually, it's possible to have a solution for this madness, I had to dive deeper with all my corporate, I worked in corporate and businesses starting from zero and getting all the way to billions. And I saw how the economical machine works. And when I realized that you can actually have a chef for $5 to $10 per portion, that opens up a huge market. I couldn't sleep. It's like a $2 trillion market. And then when I realized that later on that this can actually help people heal and reverse, diabetes, help solve people with heart issues, with autoimmune disorders, I couldn't do anything else. That was the only thing on my mind. And
I think you identified a huge unmet need from your own personal story with your family. And I assume, like you had mentioned 80-pound weight loss, but I'm sure this had positive impact across your entire family, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was able to complete half Ironman and inspired the kids as well to do, different things around that much faster than I could ever imagine. And the kids also, obviously, the nutrition is actually something
so now healthy lifestyles now.
So my family lives very healthy lifestyle all the time. Like my daughter, when as a kid, she never had, at home, we never had any sugar. Everything was very, very healthy, even before I lost the weight.
Sure.
And actually, she grew up calling rice cakes cookies. So she would come and ask for a cookie and get a rice cake, and everybody were happy.
Smart on you.
Thank you.
So you made a healthy lifestyle choice by extending resource to a chef, which improved your family diet. But then you made the quantum leap to say you wanted to build a business on this. Twist of Fate will be right back.
Trying to do everything yourself? How's that going for you? 3 Steps Forward is a full-service marketing agency that takes the weight off entrepreneurs and helps them follow through on their ideas. Step up your personal brand, boost your web presence, and elevate your business with our team of marketing experts. Are you ready to reinvent your business? Schedule a consultation today. Visit our website at 3stepsforward.com.
Welcome back to Twist of Fate. You wanted to build a business on this.
Yeah, so it also impacted our household where we could sit down and eat together in a peaceful way and speak to each other versus before that, then when we're preparing the food, you speak with your family over the shoulder.
I do this all the time, by the way.
Yeah, so it just improved the relationships when you can look at your spouse in the eyes and have like a glass of like iced tea or beer or whatever people like to drink. But we would be able to communicate and just calm down after work, and the kids would come and we can talk. So it really elevated the communication and the relationships. And what I didn't realize back then is how impactful it is for chefs. I did not know that part. I did hear from our chef how brutal it is to work in restaurants. I know she did not want to do that. Very long hours, stressful environment, very low pay. And she actually did not want to go back to restaurants, and she wanted to stay work as a personal chef. So that made me realize, hold on, there is an opportunity here for chefs to make extra money, or even have like a whole career for those that want a whole career. But that came a little bit down the road as I started working with more chefs. But yeah, I started to research about this. I saw her, and then my friends, I spoke about this with my friends. They all wanted her, and I started to research about this. What are the regulations around it? I was still at Intel working like full time, and at night I would go and read about this. Like my husband was trying to get me out of the computer, but I couldn't stop reading. So there is no regulation around chefs cooking at your home or my home. There is a lot of regulation around chefs cooking elsewhere. So and there are successful companies where chefs cook elsewhere, either at their own homes with AB 626, or if they cook in a commercial kitchen or some certified kitchen.
So did you decide to like incorporate, let's just go, or did you experiment with some models? Like what were the early days, right? Like
Yeah, that's a very good question, because I frankly didn't know what to do, and I was in an area where like I was in corporate all my life, so like I always had lawyers and finance people available, and suddenly I'm on my own, and what do I do? But even before I left Intel, I took a leave of absence. I immediately told my managers about what I'm working on. I got their approval. Like legally, I suggest everyone, don't hide stuff. Just go and be open and get permission, from your employers. And then I did a lot of research.
Smart move on your part.
Yeah. So I did a lot of research during that time. Back then, I decided not to. I did an LLC because I wasn't sure that there is really like a market here, and I decided I didn't want to like invest now thousands of dollars.
And this was your first business, right?
Yeah, as a founder. I did work before in founding teams of other startups.
No, but I mean your thing, right?
Yeah, that's my thing. And it was
exciting times then, right?
I don't know, it's scary. It was scary.
What was scary about it, Renata? For you personally?
I'm an immigrant, and as you can hear from my accent, and I don't know very well how the systems work here.
And you immigrated, I think, is it Israel?
Yeah, so I actually immigrated twice in my life. I was born in Ukraine.
Oh, wow.
USSR back then, which now is Ukraine. And my family moved to Israel, immigrated to Israel when I was a baby.
Did you grow up in, is it Tel Aviv? Or where?
I lived in Netanya, which is a city by the beach. I'm a beach girl.
So you incorporated, and
so I started with an LLC.
You had a fear after the LLC that, was it a feel of failure?
Yeah. So what I did with the leave of absence, I wanted to get a few orders just to build something like, I call it like a duct tape type of, platform, some straws connected with the duct tape, just to see that it's really working. So it was an Excel. I built an Excel model, economical model, of getting those meals at this price points, and I needed to have chefs and customers to book at least a few orders, so I'll see that people are willing to do it, even people that don't know me, and swipe a card. So the best is swipe a card. Someone doesn't know me, but it's okay if my friend swipes a card. It's still good because I won't do it unless I really believe in it.
I want to break the fourth wall and make sure my listeners see a very important point that Renata has here. Notice she incorporated her LLC while she still had her day job, but actually got permission to make sure that she's free to do that. And secondly, notice she started her business testing her economic model. It's not that it was all baked in. And actually, I think that's something that's underappreciated for a lot of you entrepreneurs out there. You don't have to have everything figured out. you have to be willing to test and validate, and good on you for doing that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like many years of experience. I saw things that work and don't. So I wanted to check before I had a good career, very high income. Before I let go of all of this, I just wanted to make sure for myself that I'm doing the right thing, and for my family, I'm a responsible adult. So so during this leave of absence, it was hard to figure out how to build it, because I'm more of like a business and product and technology person, not really a developer. So if I was a developer, it would have been easier. But still, you can actually do that. There are a lot of no-code tools out there.
So you're going to need food supply that a chef can get, and you have to get food at a certain price point that's available at a certain time that the chef can either get or source and then go to them. Is that correct?
Well, the part of the food, you have grocery stores everywhere, so we're just eliminated that part. Super easy. Just the chef picks up the stuff in the grocery store, so we're not involved in the food part. What we created is a platform, even in the early days, it was just a platform where you can go and see some menus, choose the dishes that you want, and then I had like an Excel calculator, calculate the price. It will spit out the price, and then PayPal for payments. And then the chef would pick up the order, approve it, and then do their magic.
Awesome.
Yeah, go pick up the groceries from the store, and we automated the grocery shopping from day one, from early stage. We wanted to check what are the key features that are required. I had my ideas from my own personal experience, but I'm not the typical customer. I'm like more on the extreme side. Most of the customers are they have different things on their mind. So we're still learning, even like a few years in. And some of the things I thought early on, we must connect our platform to like some grocery store, so it will be possible to buy stuff online. And completely wrong. No one cares about this, because when the chef buys the groceries, they actually prefer to go to the store. They don't like to buy online because it's some grocer, put some veggies in there. God knows what they put in. So the chefs don't like it. And then the customer, either they do the grocery shopping by themselves, but most of them want the chef to buy. So no one really needs it. So that helped me validate what really needed and what not, so we won't waste our money on the wrong things. So we develop only what's needed and what won't kill us tomorrow.
So then as you transitioned to more of where Foodom is now, what are the types of meals that they could have a chef prepare for them? So
the nice thing about what we're doing is that we can do anything that comes to your mind. So the first dish that I created on Foodom, because I built it first of all for my family, was borscht. That's what my family loves, and we ate, throughout all my life. So that was the first dish. But now we have over 600 different dishes.
Which is awesome. You cannot DoorDash that, right? Like, not that easily, right?
And it's versatile. You can do it vegan, vegetarian, gluten, like just you name it. It's like the most versatile dish. But today we have over almost 700 dishes that include all the good, like everything our customers want. We're actually uploading dishes and recipes for our customers, and we have chefs that are also contributing recipes that they're specializing in. We have, from like simple food, everyday food, like the lasagnas and meatballs and chicken breast and all of that, all the way to beef Wellington that we just uploaded, and some other fancy dishes that take a long time to prepare. But we can do anything we want, and we prioritize adding the recipes based on what actual customers want, the paying customers.
Is there any training or things you had to provide, or do some chefs have certain strengths or weaknesses? Like, how does that work on the chef side of it?
So that's actually also a very good question, because when we started, we had some ideas and we wanted to keep, certain level of price points and also certain level of quality. So where do you start? Because you have like so many different types of chefs. So we tested the home chefs, the professional chefs that are line cooks and sous chefs in restaurant, and then the executive chefs, like different levels. And what we found out that the best ones to go with to start are the line cooks and sous chefs that are professional. They get into your home, they do their job, they need nothing. Just give me the recipes, I got it. The home chefs, they were struggling. It didn't work so well. So we will get to it later on. I still want to get to it, but then we need to build more community support of other chefs to help them, to support them as they step into this world. And the executive chefs are also on a hold now, because their expectations are higher, their price points are higher, and also our super wealthy, uber wealthy part of our investors, billionaires, we can't service them at the moment because their expectations. So we have all this layer.
Like, it's not that they want $100. they want quality, right? Like that's a different
Yeah.
extreme.
So
right?
So what I'm saying is that we're hyper focused. Everybody got to eat, right? Where do you start? So we looked for the easiest place to start that is a big enough market where we can grow, and we're a painkiller in this market. And from there, we'll expand up, down, right, left. But if we start somewhere that can't grow, then we're gonna die before we even started. So that was my logic of choosing the professional chefs that are making minimum wages in restaurants, and through Foodom they can make a few times more by making the entire process efficient. We save them a lot of time of the preparation. Everything is automated online, and they just love it that they can be personal and private chefs within 5 minutes.
Good on you, Renata. I'd like to disclose to my audience, I actually got to meet Renata in a couple different forums. One, you were a contestant in Capitalize, the NBA's first crowd-funded pitch competition. I actually got to see you in the Growth Factory and all the special people under Mark Haney. Yeah. And I've seen you in a variety of competitions in Sacramento, and let me say that, your energy, and, I do feel working in entrepreneurism, there is definitely a deficit in female business leaders, and you kick butt. So I would, that needs to be said. So
Thank you.
For yourself, becoming an entrepreneur, you're not just putting your foot in the water, you've dived into that pool.
Yeah.
Have you, do you ever look back and say wow, look how much I've changed since your corporate life, right? Because the skills that you're using now, it's definitely not the same thing
It's
that
different.
you were doing before.
I do, especially when people from the previous life ask and express interest in, want to do that too. It's the best thing I ever did, and also the hardest thing. And sometimes, you need to be, it's like a bug that attacked me, and I just dived all in. And of course, with the cushions, I had my own, personal cushions. I always recommend save money before you do something like that. Make sure you're financially able to do that, just to be responsible. But I know people that do it without all of that and are still fine. And it's something internal, like a calling that you have to do it. It's hard. I got hit on my face and fell and bruised, and I have the scars to prove. But still, even with that, it's the best thing I ever did in my life.
Twist of Fate will be right back.
Are you an aspiring entrepreneur? Are you seeking to reinvent yourself? Change can be difficult, but achievable with planning, passion, and optimism. Start listening to a small business podcast called Twist of Fate that brings together business leaders in a dialogue about how to make dreams reality. Twist of Fate is sponsored by 3 Steps Forward, a marketing company, and hosted by entrepreneur, founder, and CEO Doug Younger. Inspire your own Twist of Fate streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube.
Welcome back to Twist of Fate. Looking back at this journey, is there a moment or a certain time period that you'd say, if I could redo that, I would do it a different way? Or if there, I'm not meaning regret. I mean, just, because you're battle tested, you're Ronin now. You've seen things. Is there anything that comes to mind that you would do differently?
Yeah, so many. Where to start? It's hard to choose one. So when I started, I underestimated all kinds of things. So what I learned is that everything takes longer, it's more expensive, and you think you know to fundraise, and that money will fall on your laps, and not. So I learned a lot of things over time. So with the knowledge I have now, I would do things differently, which back then I didn't have all this knowledge. So definitely I would suggest to join a community of accelerator or one of those as early as possible.
Did that give you some camaraderie? Because I've seen the kinship you've had with other businesses in Growth Factory and other things. So.
That was amazing, definitely. So it's working together with other people, just having people, a community, Working at Intel, I had a big community. Living Intel, I felt alone. Suddenly in the world, you need to run ideas by someone. I have no one. So with the community of founders, they did it already. Some of them are, in more advanced stages. Some are in the same stages like me. So there is a lot of help and support of each other. Like yesterday, a friend of mine asked me to review her pitch deck for like the pre-seed. I'm already getting ready for a seed. So we're in different stages, and a lot of people help me. So it's a community. We're helping each other. First of all, give and then take. So I strongly suggest that.
I talk a lot about the cardinal sin of the entrepreneur is that I shall do it myself. And I say that as an entrepreneur, but even as a species, like many of us love to try to do things alone, but human beings, we're a tribal species, right? Like we have to hunt and gather together. So good on you. I actually want to ask you, one of the pivots I saw you do from the start to now, taking again this idea of a tribe, you're starting to partner with a lot of people. And I know that one of our other guests, Pair Anything, Christy's very special, right? Like we love you.
Yeah, love Christy.
So what are some of the partnerships and what are some of the goals you're looking to do that brings more value to Foodom?
Yeah, so there is, first of all, in the startup community, I've been partnering with companies the minute, we just saw each other, we fell in each other's arms. And there's Christy, there is Hamama Camille, there is also Spark, Anna, that we're looking for ways to partner and just support and help each other. All the companies in our cohort were working together and, wherever we can. So on a different level, there is strategic partnerships where we're looking to, or we have partners in the fitness space, in the medical space. So there are more strategic partners where it's actually affiliate, and we're actually paying, for people that are coming through the partner. So there are different types of partnerships. Absolutely, partnerships is one of the key ways to grow. Yeah.
Okay, and then listen, Renata, I don't know that if you understand, you're an inspiration to a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, either chefs or even, I think, a lot of women in business, right? So if they would like to get in contact with you, because I know that you're big into partnership, friendship, mentorship.
Support and help, of course, yeah.
How do they get in contact?
Yeah, so I'm on social media everywhere. So you can either invite me on LinkedIn to connect and message me. I reply. I'm on Twitter too, Facebook. Just reach out. I'm happy to connect and happy to help. Just from what I learned so far, still a lot to learn, and it's a journey. But I'm happy to share and pay it forward what I have already.
Fantastic. And I have many investors, private equity, angels, venture capital that listen to this podcast. I know this for a fact. So you're raising funds for Foodom as well, correct?
Well, my first suggestion is, first of all, eat our food. That's the first step, especially if you're in the areas that we're servicing. But as a founder, you always fundraising, if not
every day of your life.
Every day of your life. If not for the previous round, then for the future round. I'm a big believer in creating relationships with investors and connecting with the right people, because when the right opportunity comes, also with partners as well, with everyone, we're humans, like with you, the friendship, it's it's beyond time and place. So I just invite everybody that's passionate about what we're doing to just connect, get to know each other. With investors in particular, it's a Catholic marriage. There is no divorce, and it's literally until death do us part, or acquisition, or IPO, because there's no way out of this. So I believe in getting to know each other. I have a certain style. Each investor have their own, styles and values and things they believe in. So I'm open. I'm dating, like getting to know investors.
Yeah. To share something that I was impressed most about you in a discussion offline, you had mentioned when there comes to exit or IPO, you said IPO all the way.
Oh, yeah. Not even without even blinking. Of course, I want to get it up and running and have it available everywhere in the world. The only way to do it is to, of course, we can stay, private, but I do believe that getting public and growing will help get that. My model is Airbnb. I love their model and their values and how they incorporate their impact into their DNA with just being a C Corp. They're not even a B Corp, but you can still be impact company even as a C Corp. And I look up to them.
Renata, let me say this. I believe that you can go all the way. I really do. I've seen the last 3 years. I've seen progress, development. You guys heard it from me. She's going all the way. So with that, I want to move to my final thoughts. Looking to my listeners, I encourage you to have an entrepreneur's and innovative mindset in all aspects of your life. It's so easy to fall in a new idea, being tech, machine learning, SaaS, all of these high growth areas, but the true nature of what you're hearing today is the lowest common denominator that unites us is food. And how we consume it, how it's prepared, you have options. Now, you may not think you do because of price barriers and whatnot, but innovative people like my guest Renata here are making it possible for you to achieve your goals, to live a healthier life, to live a more balanced life, to have better health outcomes as a result of that, and to have better relationships in your family. And at the end of the day, if making the world a better place for your family is not your goal, then I don't know, you're not ready for entrepreneurism. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Like, share, subscribe. It helps us out. What we're trying to do is to bring innovative content that helps you think about your life, your ideas, and entrepreneurism with passion, planning, and optimism. With that, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to seeing you again on Twist of Fate.
Twist of Fate is hosted by Doug Younger. It's produced by John Lundvid and Matthew Brown at Ezo Creatives. Moni Yu designs our graphics, and Enrique Pimentel manages our digital life. Our theme music is by Jamie Bathgate. Special thanks to all of our patrons. You can support the show by visiting patreon.com/twistoffatepodcast. Thanks for listening.